This is a Podco original.
I said, if I shave twice
and put on my Letterman
jacket, I'll look like a student.
The picture to the far left, we did this a lot where we would put crew members in like photos or in props or things. Shannon.
Oh, that's Shannon.
She's in this episode twice.
I walk into the loft scene, that gray jacket.
You still have it?
I have that. I stole it.
Did you do plays in high school?
Oh, yeah.
And are you a theater person?
And we're on a podcast, and the show has just started.
And clink.
Cheers.
Clink, clink. Oh, my Lord.
I thought I was taller. Okay.
You make that joke. That and the phone, everything's a phone.
What do you mean, Jen? Hello? Hello?
I can't. How are you today?
I am very good. And I went to go see the Grateful Dead in Vegas, and I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Have you been to a concert recently or no?
Well, I was actually really bummed. So do you know who John Bryan is? No, it's okay. He does a lot of scores. Like he's done some stuff with like John Mulaney's stand up. And then the reason I love him is he does these like unconventional scores, but he did the soundtrack for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh my God.
I was going to go
movie.
see him at Largo with a friend of mine, and we showed up all ready to go, and the doors were like locked and shut.
Wrong day?
No, he already rescheduled from April. And then now he rescheduled for May. And I didn't get any email notification.
Oh, that's
I didn't get
bullshit.
anything. I know. I was like, this is horseshit. Then now it's rescheduled to the end of June. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to, I guess, just check the website calendar to see if he's actually going to be there.
Right.
So yeah, we just ended up getting sushi. But yeah, that was going to be the recent concert, but it didn't pan out.
Well,
Come on, Largo.
I like, I don't love going to a place where there's a lot of people.
It's a small venue.
Yeah.
That's why I don't love a big crowd either. I never really did, but especially like after the pandemic, like big crowds just kind of give me anxiety. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I've seen, I saw Barry Manilow in concert.
Did you really?
At the Hollywood Bowl.
You know what
with
I
my mom
always
one time.
think of? I always think of that line from Breakfast Club of like, what did Barry Manilow raid your wardrobe?
Right.
I think Bender says it to the principal.
If you guys have not seen Breakfast Club, do yourself a favor, watch that and all John Hughes movies.
Oh, the best.
Like Pretty in Pink, Home Alone. No, not Home Alone. Uncle Buck. Because
Uncle Buck, yeah.
What's his name was in that?
John Candy.
But then Macaulay Culkin was the kid in that. Where he.
What was your favorite John Hughes movie? And then we'll get to the rewatch.
I would go with Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club?
So good.
That is a good one.
And I worked with Anthony Michael Hall on a movie. I met Judd Nelson. I did a pilot with Molly Ringwald. And
you went through the whole cast. Ali Sheedy?
I did not do anything with Ali Sheedy, but
There's still time.
I saw Emilio Estevez out in Westwood at a movie with Tom Cruise.
Wait, Tom Cruise was in the movie, or you saw him with Tom Cruise?
I saw Tom Cruise and Emilio Estevez hanging out, going to a movie.
Did you die a little? Did you get a little
I was like,
verklempt?
TC!
It's TC!
No.
NC and TC, my favorite.
I wasn't obsessed with
him
TC.
at the time.
I can't wait for the new Mission Impossible.
We are siding so hard, and we haven't even started yet.
And I know Chris McQuarrie because his sister Meg is a good friend. Yeah. They're friends. And I just want to call Chris and be like, Chris, can I just be in the background of the movie or anything? I just want, maybe TC could just run by me.
Running. Okay, we're getting to the episode. Season 2, episode 12, Fairytale is the rewatch of the day. And if you guys are enjoying the podcast, follow, subscribe, like Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to things.
Yeah, and it's so easy. You just click subscribe. You just click it like that. Little clicky.
That's a really intentional click. Anywho, all right, this episode first aired January 25th, 2009, which is interesting because the last one, I guess we took a little break because the last one was New Year's Eve, 2009.
Interesting.
Or 2008 into 2009.
Did we
so I don't know
out
why.
Of order, maybe, or
I know probably, but I just find it interesting there was such a gap. Anyway, directed by Bob Cohair, one of our faves, and written by Gigi McCreary and Perry Rain,
who were writers. They did an episode, and they were writers on Friends, which is so amazing.
Okay, so we open on Larry Tate talking to Justin about writing him a recommendation letter to his alma mater at Clementine College. Larry Tate says he will only write the letter if Justin directs the school production of Peter Pan. Zeke approaches Justin vying to play Peter Pan and auditions with The Mexico dance. I love
so good.
the Mexico.
Mexico
Is emerge. What is it? It's something emerging marketplace.
The way he dances, if you can't hear me, I'm doing this.
He's doing the dance.
Mexico. It's just too funny.
It's my favorite. Oh, I love dance so much.
And also, Bill Cott, who's Mr. Larry Tate. I did like when Justin's like, "Hey, Buckaroo," something, and he's like, "No, this is the cowboy
Serious.
thing. Is my thing.
Find your own thing."
Yeah.
But so Justin tells Zeke, "We're not doing the Mexico dance. Auditions are tomorrow. Come up with something now." Mexico. And then to get out of being, and Larry Tate's trying to force Alex to be in the locker refurbishment club,
which is so silly.
And
what I thought was maybe that was him trying to push her into being in the play.
Extracurriculars.
But you know what I mean? But it wasn't. It wasn't clever like that. You know?
I think he was just trying to get her involved.
Dan Benson is so funny.
He's so funny. And so, basically he has to come up with another audition. He can't do the Mexico dance. And Mr. Larry Tate is trying to get Alex to join the locker refurbishment club, but she's too busy being in Justin's play. That's her excuse because she thinks it's going to be easy. So we go from Tribeca Prep to the sub shop. Max proclaims he is the new reviewer for the Tribeca Prep newspaper, but he doesn't know what to review first. So he convinces Teresa she needs to take him to see A Last a Man Snaps Back.
And he's lying.
He's lying.
Because
he just doesn't. He wants to go see this movie before he does his homework.
Right.
But Teresa reveals
that
she's
she
in on
knows
it.
She just wants to not work.
She wants out of her shift, right? Everyone doesn't want to work at the sub shop. So Alex is trying to convince Harper to be in the school play, stating she assumes she loved the theater based on how she dresses in all those costumes, which Harper's like, what costumes? What are you talking about?
I'm holding back because Alex is not nice to Harper. And I don't understand. I guess they just were like, Alex hates everything, you know?
I think it was that Alex is like too cool for school, right? Like she's too cool for, anything, right? I mean, sometimes I kind of see it as like if Peter was a young Disney Channel girl, right? Like, because
Peter Marietta was a young Disney Channel
the showrunner,
girl.
right? Like, because a lot of it was just the like, I don't participate kind of thing, and like too cool for school kind of thing, which Peter kind of has that vibe. Not that he's mean to people, but like that he's
a card. He likes to be a rebel.
Yeah. Okay. So Teresa is in on it, and she just wants to cut her shift short. Alex tries to convince Harper to be in the play because of her love of theater costumes. But she said she's going to be Tinkerbell.
Yeah, but yet Harper doesn't want to be in the play, which is interesting.
Yeah, but Harper's pretty easy to convince. We got 22 minutes. She's pretty easy to.
Okay, but also when Harper does audition, it's not the best audition. Which her parents are performers. I was surprised that's. I mean, I guess story-wise, it was easier, but why didn't they make it good? Because you're going to fall off the stage and break your ankle anyway.
I don't know. I think there was an opportunity for comedy, right? Like I remember having a lot of fun doing the like, no, don't like whatever weird voice choice that was.
You went here.
I was trying to go like this, like a fairy, I guess. I don't know, but it was a bad audition. But also too, sometimes I feel like kids rebel from what their parents do. So maybe that's part of why she ddidn't want to audition for the play.
That could be, but she does get the part.
She does get the part. Yeah, there's a lot of biases in Justin's casting here.
And it's so silly because he's like, Dan gets the part with his, graduation
his
speech.
8th grade graduation speech.
And David with that with the director thing,
the megaphone.
Yeah, the megaphone thing. But it's funny because every time Dan gets the part, you get the part, and they cut away to the kids in the audience, and they're like,
nah,
I'm mad. I'm leaving now.
And they're also in like legit outfits. Costumes. Yeah, they're like in full costumes. But yeah, they do that gag twice where it's the Peter Pan slams a script down or something, and then Tinkerbell slams something down as well. So yeah, Alex's main goal is to be the Tinkerbell understudy because she thinks she won't have to do anything.
Right.
She'll never go on. Harper never misses anything. And she tells Justin that she can do it because she's been pretending to like him for years.
Right.
So
which was interesting because she says, I'm pretending. And he says, but you don't like me. And she goes, I'm acting acting like I don't like you, but I do like you.
Yeah,
you know?
It was very reverse psychology, messy, whatever. And interestingly enough, Jerry was also directed plays in high school and tries to give Justin advice.
Oh my God, I laughed so hard,
At
Jen,
yourself?
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, my what are you doing here to Justin at the table with his diorama of the stage?
Yeah, his dollhouse, according to Alex.
Yeah, right. And then he's like, I'm directing. I'm like, oh, I was a director. I do all this stuff. Yeah. And then he asked me advice. Alex wants to be the understudy in this. And I say, well, which one of these little figures is an understudy?
Yeah.
And then I take it and I go, this one, and I throw it as hard as I can. And they even put a little noise in there.
And you go, got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so funny. Mean. But we all know that Alex is going to ruin it.
Yeah. No, we do.
Yeah.
We do, because there's a bit later, too, when we'll get there. We're jumping around. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, this is when I threw the thing.
No, it comes back again later when he asks for advice when she's already screwing it up.
Right.
So Alex tricks Justin into hiring her to play the understudy because he says something about your advice of like not hiring her. And she goes, oh, so is dad directing the play? And he's like, no, I make my own decisions.
Right.
Yeah, you can be the understudy. She always like kind of tricks people into doing things.
Which I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, as the character, she manipulates them.
Yeah.
Which you do a little later at some point. You act all sad.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, he's just saying like, look, if she's the understudy, Justin says like, you guys got to really be careful. We got to take this seriously. And then Harper goes, oh yeah, of course. And then almost trips on her cheese dust.
Yeah, and
fairy
that
dust.
almost trip, everybody. When you're rewatching the episode, you did an almost trip that was great.
Oh, that means so much coming.
Yeah, but it was perfect because it did look like you were about to fall. It looked very real.
Well, I am very graceful, so I don't fall ever at all. I have no experience. But honestly, because I know we talked about with a new employee about how much you helped me with physical comedy. So coming from you, that's a very full circle moment for me.
I really liked it. I was very impressed with
Thank you.
And then
I do fall off the stage. And
how was that? There were
pads.
There
I remember for some reason I don't now because I'm old. But I had this weird thing when I was a kid when I did stunts. I thought like I got points or like was more dedicated if I didn't use a pad or like knee pads and stuff, which was just stupid. But for that one, I had to have a pad because I was literally like legs up going back. And, and she responds, obviously she's broken something. She's like, I don't think it's supposed to bend that way.
Everybody's reaction to it was good too.
And then Alex tries to throw herself off the stage to avoid performing, but Justin holds her back. So in the substation, we're back with Max and Teresa. He goes over his review of A Last Man with Teresa, which isn't really a review. It's more of a complaint of how like Teresa didn't use enough butter on the popcorn.
Yeah.
And then Justin, this is the callback. Justin seeks Jerry's help and he responds, as long as it doesn't involve Alex, there's nothing we can't solve. And of course it involves Alex.
Yes.
Zeke shows up in a neck brace. So the whole cast is just, there's a play called like the play where everything goes wrong. I'm sure I'm getting the title wrong. Correct me in the comments.
Noise is off or something.
Yeah, it is Noises Off. Nice.
I can't believe that I picked that.
Oh my God.
Out.
Well done. I can't believe I didn't remember that. But it seems like that. Like everyone's getting injured. Everything's going wrong.
And with Dan getting a neck injury, I say I'll take one for the team. And I'll play Peter Pan. I said, if I shave twice and put on my Letterman jacket, I'll look like a student. I thought that was so funny.
It was pretty
funny.
I
had a couple of funny
You had a couple
lines
singers in here. I do have to say, this is an aside, but one of my favorite, because I'm a theater person. I know I've said that a billion times, but like I love community theater bloopers. I just think they're so funny. Because it's like, because I know community theater so well of like, those sets sometimes are put together with a prayer and somebody's cousin or something, but something like that, you know what I mean? It's always like a labor of love. But there's one Peter Pan one actually, where the rigs are wrong. Like something's gone wrong with the rigs. So you'll have like Wendy in bed being like, Peter. And then, which I don't know why I did Lois from Family Guy just now, Peter. So she'll be in bed, and you'll just see Michael like fly across the stage.
Oh no.
Or you see Peter like, I'll send it to you, but you'll see Peter like smack into a window or something. It's so freaking funny. It's one of my favorite like theater feels. It's the best. Anyway, so But Zeke injured himself from a clogging accident because he went to go tell his tap class that he wasn't going to do it and then got so excited about the clogging.
Right, which is so funny. It's like, everybody be careful, prior to this, everybody be careful. No dancing, no tap dancing.
Yeah.
And then, but Dan's reaction's funny. He's
Clogging.
like, but I mean, he gets sad.
Yeah.
But he does clog and he injures himself.
Injures his neck. And then Jerry urges Alex to really give it her all. This means a lot to Justin. So Alex, of course, instead of doing, hey, let me just work on the play, learn the lines, she goes, I have an idea. Let me get a real fairy to play Tinkerbell so she doesn't have to do it.
And apparently there is a fairy agent who licenses out fairies or whatever.
The FTA offices, which made me laugh because it's off of UTA, the United Talent Agency. Right. It's a spin on that.
I didn't put that together. That's so funny.
And also, too, another fun fact is in the background, the picture to the far left, we did this a lot where we would put crew members in like photos or in props.
Who's in the...
Shannon.
Oh, that's Shannon.
She's in this episode twice.
Shannon, who's been on the podcast, did wardrobe and is a good friend, and I didn't realize that she was there.
No, go back and watch. She's in the far, so there's like 3 pictures, I think, and then she's in the far left. She's dressed as a fairy.
That is amazing.
So we meet the fairy talent agent at the FTA offices. He shows her the same headshot of the same fairy because obviously he maybe has one client or like he just really wants you know, Flutter to get hired. And then Harper, who's just the picture of beauty and grace, falls on a gumdrop chair. Twice. Because she tiled her cast and it made it heavy.
How did that feel? Because you were falling onto
Well, they were like collapsible chairs.
I understand, but as you were sitting on it and it was doing the breakaway, you were landing on it. I mean, how did that feel? Was it okay?
No, it was fine. I remember it being, because again, I had, this was in my perfectionism phase and like suffer for your art mentality. So I remember like the pieces kind of like going up and not being the most comfortable thing in the world. Cause I mean, like I said, I don't have to explain to you. It's a collapsible chair. Like you sit back into it and immediately like gives.
Right.
But I remember the pieces kind of like sometimes smacking me a little bit, not being the most comfortable thing in the world. But like I said, I was such a weird little masochist. I was like, perfect. I suffer for my art.
Well, you did a good job. And it was interesting because there was a line where I don't know who said it, but who puts gumdrops on a chair or whatever? And I don't know if you said, but you're like, well, I would. Yeah. You know?
Well, and the whole reason she's sitting down in the first place is because she tiled her cast, which she's like, it makes it really heavy.
Right. That must have been a pain in the ass to walk around the whole time.
Yeah, whatever.
They didn't do a good shot of the tile. You said
they
it,
didn't do
and
like
we
an
didn't
insert.
really, we didn't really see the boot.
Though, and I think I've told you this before. In Crazy 10-Minute Sale, and I'm going way back now.
You broke your toe.
Yeah, I had 2 broken toes, and so I was going around in a boot, not on set because I was so scared of people to know. So I just wore Uggs otherwise. But when I wasn't on set, like when I got home, I'd put it in a boot when I walked around. So I had some boot experience at that point. I was a boot aficionado at that time. Okay, so we're back at the loft. Alex is trying to prepare Flutter to play Tinkerbell, but she'd rather play a cop and tells Harper to stick him up.
Freeze,
suckers.
So this was Rachel.
This was Rachel.
Who I had a crush on for sure. And she was so sweet.
She's so cute.
And she has like a production company, and she like started like a an area. I'm not sure where it is. I feel so silly now, but she like has sound studios where they're shooting stuff. Like she became, she like owns like a whole area where people are shooting and stuff. So, hi Rachel.
But I remember watching this episode. I was like, "This is the fairy he had a crush on."
Yeah. Oh, she's so funny. And there's a moment here where she says "freeze" to me, and then puts me up against the door.
Yeah.
And
is that when you fell in love?
Well, but she says
obviously before you met Yulia, because she is
of course
the best.
But she has me against the wall and freeze, and there's a good blooper. There's a good blooper where she has me up against, and I don't know. I say something silly like,
and it's not even my birthday.
Yeah,
I remember this one. I remember this.
Is that what I said?
And you go, and it's not even my birthday. That just came to me. I just totally remembered that because I remember that blooper and it being so funny.
And if you want to see that blooper,
it can be on the Patreon.
It's on the Patreon for sure.
Oh, that one already is?
I put it up there, I'm sure.
Cool. We're very organized with our Patreon. So Jerry and Teresa show up and get mad at Alex for scheming to get a fairy to play Tinkerbell rather than learning her damn lines.
And don't put the fairy back Just let the fairy be. Like the fairy's just there.
Just go on in the world.
Right. And she comes back, which is, I have a question about that when we get there, but it's interesting that it isn't like, there's a fairy here. Let's, put her back to fairyland.
Yeah, it's like just learn your lines. Yeah, it's a little dragging the dog. That's what, like, anytime.
You love to bring up dragging the dog. It goes to the way of dragging the dog.
No, but I love to bring it up because to me, it's so, when we just don't explain things and they just go away or we just don't address it. That was like the first episode I really remember being like, wow, we really never talked about that again or addressed it. Like, what happened? So to me, every time we do that is dragging the dog. Okay, so we're back at Tribeca Prep. It is showtime, and Justin's Peter Pan is a total mess. Alex won't commit to her part as Tinkerbell. Her death scene is like so lackadaisical.
It's just so bad so silly. And
then Zeke as Peter Pan's wearing a neck brace.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
And Maria and Jake are in the audience.
And Harper.
Yeah. And then there's we need the audience to clap.
Yeah.
To like believe in fairies to make her alive again.
They're not clapping.
And no one wants to clap.
No.
And
I mean, it gets so bad at one point he tells Jerry to put on his Letterman jacket. He's like, all right, it's awful. Go put on your Letterman jacket.
And I just thought it was funny that I think Selena looked at, her mom and was like, Mom. And she's like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And Shannon is in the she's always on the left. Look left for Shannon in the audience. She's in the front row on the left.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She's all over this episode.
How did I miss Shannon?
I don't know. Twice you missed Shannon.
And to get everybody to clap, Zeke says, how about the Mets?
And everybody roaring applause to the Mets. But yeah, not the performance of their friends and
this
whatever.
was very confusing to me because I suggest to Justin to throw in the real fairy, like it's going to help out.
That's right, you do.
I say that, but
terrible teacher.
Yeah, and usually magic is not supposed to be included. Yeah. And I'm like, well, we'll throw the fairy in, which there's no real plan to it. Like, I don't say to the fairy, like, go in there and do this or be her or whatever. She just kind of shows up. Oh, as a cop. Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
because remember in the loft,
because she's a good actor.
In the loft, you're like, wow, she's really good. That's the line that made it. Not that it's my birthday. The one that made it was, wow, she's really good. When she like sticks him up on the door. So
that's why Jerry is sending the fairy in, because she's a good actor.
Yeah, somebody's got to save the show.
I didn't realize that.
We're finding it here, ladies and gentlemen. But Alex warns that basically of like, we can't have her in the show because then the audience will see that, she's a real fairy, Flutter. And
she flies around the stage.
Well, she makes her like really tiny.
Right.
And then she flies around so Flutter makes herself really tiny like Tinkerbell and flies around the stage, breaking the whole set.
And there's no reference to mortals seeing magic because we're on stage and it's a play.
Maybe it's a light, maybe it's a whatever. Right. Not mentioning the fact that a grown ass woman fairy just got really tiny and disappeared.
Right.
Dragging the dog.
Well, high school plays are really amazing. So
I remember there in Texas, I saw this, which I was at the time of Disney Channel where I saw every iteration of High School Musical I could possibly see. I went to all the premieres for every High School Musical because it was all the Disney Channel stuff, right?
Really? And then I saw High School.
I worked with her before.
The bus show. Right?
Yeah, because I remember her being like, the bus show. I remember her saying
What's her name again?
Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa.
But I remember her saying like, we just did this like musical decom movie. Like it was really fun, but probably nothing will come of it. Like just because it was right after she did that. But I saw High School Musical on freaking ice. Like I saw every iteration of fucking High School Musical that you can see. But I remember there was this kind of like a little snooty school in Texas, and I was going to see a family friend who was in the play. And I get up there, and it's like in the hometown that I'm from. And I get up there, and it was last minute because usually I go home and I just wasn't able to plan ahead for whatever reason. It was last minute. I go and I say like, hey, like I'm here to see so and so, and they go, well, the show is sold out. I don't know if we're going to be able to make room for you. And I was on Wizards at the time, and my family friend's mom was like, you can grab 2 chairs. Come on. And I'm literally, my mom and I still laugh about it to this day because we're like, we saw every fucking version of High School Musical, And yet this, like, it was junior high. This junior high play was like,
they didn't want
we're
to let you
sold
in.
out. We don't know. We were like, that's fine. I've seen this a billion freaking times on every surface possible. Okay.
Do you know all the songs and all that?
I blocked them out. I know we're all in this together and, you know, with the little fucking dance and whatever. Yeah, I've blocked it out. After the ice, my brain
The High
melted.
School Musical reminded me of like those beach blanket, you know what I mean? Where they're
But those
like,
came after. The Teen
No.
Beach
I
movie?
meant like Frankie Valley, like
like
those,
Elvis and
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
those like we're on the beach having fun. Let's
Yeah.
all just do a whole routine dance number.
Yeah.
Just we don't know who we are, but we're gonna do everything.
Well, but
in
like I
sync
said, Disney kind of did that version with the Teen Beach movies with one of my really good friends, Garrett Clayton, and with
I vaguely remember these. Yeah.
oh my god, well yeah, because it was towards the end of our time, and then. What is his name? The blonde dude that played Jeffrey Dahmer, not Evan Peters.
Oh.
He was on a Disney Channel show. Oh, people in the comments are going to freak out. I know
thought
it.
Zach.
No, this isn't Teen Beach.
But he played a serial killer too. He
played Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Which
He did a good job.
Oh, that's going to bug me. I know you guys are going to freak out. It's like, I almost said it's Carl. I don't know.
Everybody
just mention
tell
in the
us.
comments. I know you will be screaming it anyway of who the blonde guy is in the Teen Beach
I
movies.
love that. If we don't come up with something, you guys
No,
just
but he's
tell
like
us.
he's a musician now, and his music's actually pretty catchy. But anyway, okay. So she's flying around the stage. Flutter is just destroying everything, and the audience. She finally swats Flutter. It's like literally murders Flutter.
Yeah.
Speaking of serial killers,
knocks her
murders,
out and then holds her
and
up.
then holds her like all dead and puts her in the drawer on set, and the audience boos because Flutter's a really good beat cop or whatever. So the audience boos her. So the play went horribly wrong. In the loft at the very end of the episode, plays.
It's interesting too. Sorry,
Yeah,
Mr.
you're
Larry
fine.
Tate is not there.
No,
It's his play. It's his whole reason why
maybe
it's
it was
happening.
so bad he couldn't go.
Maybe he was at craft service. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. In the loft, Teresa tries to reassure Justin that he can go to her alma mater, an all-girls school.
Which, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
when I walk into the loft scene, that gray jacket,
You still have it?
I have that. I stole it.
He still fits in all Jerry's clothes, ladies
Well,
and
it's
gentlemen.
tight.
Well,
It's tight now.
Good.
Although second
big
season,
man in a
third
little
season,
coat.
yeah.
Big man in a little coat. A little Chris Farley.
But also there's a moment where Maria is saying, "This is like a crime. You shouldn't do. It's a
you're like,
crime to do that."
"It's not a
And
crime."
I'm like, "Hey, "No, it's not a
It's
crime."
not a crime.
Oh, that made me laugh
To
so
bring to
hard.
me,
Whenever
love
I
you so-
corrected Maria, I thought it was so funny. You know.
I know you loved correcting. Anyway, so Alex gives Justin a recommendation that she and Max wrote, reviewing his production of Peter Pan, complimenting his take on the show, which was very nice and
Why do
very
you
out
think-
of character. For
Yeah,
both of
very
them.
out of character. I was just going to say that. Why did they have Max like?
But I think, because he was reviewing movies. Remember, that was his whole thing.
Right,
for the
but
episode.
it's a nice happy surprise that he was able to do something with some intelligence.
Well, and I think too, like they took the piss out of each other so much that it's like they had to have those heartfelt moments sometimes. So
Yeah.
the tag of the episode is the perfect place for it. But so they were really complimenting his take. Justin states he doesn't need to go to Clementine College because he's got everything he needs at home. He'll just skip college and stay here with you people. Yeah, right.
Which, interestingly enough, is we all are like happy that he's going to skip college, and then
But
he's
Jerry
like,
just
yeah,
wants everyone to work at the sub shop.
yeah, that's true. That makes sense. But there's another.
He just
beat.
needs some help because Teresa's not working.
There's a beat here where it's so fucking creepy. I go like this. He says, "Well, it's an all, you know, this thing is an all girls school, you know, or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come visit you."
Oh, that is creepy.
And then Teresa says something, and I'm like, "I'm just kidding," or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was creepy
Yeah,
for
it's
me to
creepy.
say that, right?
Yeah, that's creepy. It was a weird choice. It was a different time, ladies and gentlemen. It was a different time. I'm really ladies and gentlemen it up this episode. Okay, so
You have a question.
I have
for
two
me.
questions.
Okay,
for
and
you.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Did you do? It's a two-parter, but
Did you?
are
do?
you? Did you do?
I did
do. I take fiber. No, but did you do plays in high school?
Oh yeah.
And are you a theater person?
I'm not a singer. I have seen many a musical. I have a hard time.
Well, your mom was in musicals.
Yes, my mom was on Broadway and was on in Once Upon a Mattress with Buster Keaton and did On the Town with Elliot Gould.
Yep.
She replaced Barbara Streisand, and she performed in England. And Barbara Streisand had to go out of the play. She was, married to Elliot Gould, and I think she went and did Funny Girl or whatever. But after my mom did the thing, she came up on stage, looked at my mom, and went, "You did good." And then she walked away.
Ooh,
that's a big compliment,
but
though.
to get that from Barbara,
right?
Oh yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. What a diva in the best way.
I did. In high school, in junior high school when I was in 9th grade.
You did High School Musical?
No, I did Puck. What is that with Shakespeare?
Midsummer Nights.
Midsummer Nights. And then there's like these producers, or there's people talking about the play or something. I did. I don't know if
there
my
were
teacher
Nazis
changed
in Midsummer Night's Dream.
What? No, producers.
No, I'm talking about producers. The music. I'm being an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Come on, baseline.
Sorry, but I did that, and that was good. That went well. And then approaching.
Did you play Puck?
No. I didn't play. Remember, Michael played Puck in not in that performance, but when they did it.
Okay.
But I was in that, and I did a good job. And then they did this play called Approaching Simone, where you had to sing. I tried to audition as the singer, and they were like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah.
So I just was in the kind of background of that.
Okay.
And whatever you do, typically in high school, you're doing a musical usually.
Yeah.
And I'm not a singer, so I didn't do that. But we did the theater competitions.
Oh yeah,
like Shakespeare Festival, and also we did Noises Off.
Yes.
As you break it down to like 6 minutes or something.
Be great in that.
We did it.
It's just a farce.
Yeah, but with 6 kids doing a thing, and you perform, and then there's people that judge, and you win the competition or not. So we either won or came in second place with the Noises Off, and we rehearsed our fucking asses off. We worked so hard on that. And it's interesting because in my mind, was like, oh, this is just high school.
I come from an acting family. I'm
exactly.
an actor.
And you do real jobs, and no one works as hard as everybody.
Theater is one of the live performance in theater is one of the hardest jobs in the business.
Yeah.
And understudies, especially, speaking of understudies, it's ironic that Alex thinks that
being
that's an easy job.
Right?
Being an understudy or a swing, holy shit.
What is a swing?
So a swing, I feel like I'm going to butcher this definition, but so an understudy, you're just for one part. Swings will do multiple parts. So they're prepared to go on for, like, if this person gets sick and go on, they might perform as something else in the background, like more of a...
That's intense.
Yeah. So they might have to swing in different parts depending on the needs of the show.
Right,
that
and typically they're in the play as a smaller part
they're
or
typically
something.
in the play. But understudies, I don't think typically are. I think they are just the understudies, and swings are different. I'm sure you guys are going to correct me in the comments. I hope you do, so that way I can make sure I have it right. But swings and understudies are like the hardest job. And
I have one more play. Like, not so much musicals, but watching plays. Like, I love that. And that I was very lucky in when I was younger, we would go to New York, and my dad would get, like, I don't know, every other night we'd go see a play or something. He'd be able to get the house tickets or whatever, And cut to being in LA, I saw Sean Penn and Sean Penn do Hurly Burly.
Oh my God.
It was amazing. I mean, to watch someone like that on stage.
He's so visceral too.
It was intense. It was very intense.
What's your favorite play? I like that transition. I'm sorry. you were about to ask something, and I want to
know your experience with it. But my favorite play, I don't know. I keep saying Noises Off. I like that play a lot.
But that makes sense because, like I said, it's a great comedic farce, and it's really funny, and there's a lot of physical comedy in Noises Off.
And the whole second act is the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like it
fits your brand, so I can see it.
So, have you performed on stage?
Yeah.
Have you done? Tell me.
I
have you done?
I love theater. I still love theater. I would love to go back and do theater again. I haven't done a musical in a minute, and I've done like musical performances, but
like, what musical did you do?
I did everything I could possibly do as a kid
give us
back in
one
Texas.
title.
But I mean, they were a lot of them. I did this one wasn't a musical, but I did, we called it Homecoming. It was based off of, what was Little John, not like, but the,
a TV show with
the Waltons.
Yeah.
What was that show?
John Boy.
John
The
Boy.
Waltons.
That was what
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
called
Little
one.
John. He's in Prairie Times going, yeah. No.
There was a show I
John
think called
Boy.
Bonanza where there was Little John.
Yeah, not the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Homecoming was like kind of our like legally able to do musical, and that was the first time I realized what drama was, and I was there with an all adult cast, and I loved it. And as far as musicals, I mean, I did everything from all the junior stuff. So Pocahontas Junior, Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior, like everything junior. Because I was a kid. I mean, I started when I was 6 in theater, and then did theater as much as I possibly could until the age of 8. And then I started coming out to LA when I was 9. So
that's so fun. I prefer a play rather than a musical.
That's fair.
But that's just
I know
me.
a lot of actors like that.
It was interesting too because the Willy Wonka. When my oldest daughter was in junior high school, she played Violet Beauregard.
Yeah.
In the Willy Wonka play, but there really wasn't a play. So the teacher kind of adapted it to a play, which I thought was very interesting.
A lot of the musicals I did were adaptations like that. I think Annie was one of like the traditional ones that I did. And for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I wanted to play Pepper, who's like the big bully in the orphanage, instead of Annie. Like every girl wanted to play Annie,
right? But
I wanted to be the bully. I think it was because I was really small for my age. And so there was something very funny to me about being really small and being like, fuck you, I don't know. I found that I was always more interested into the edgy character, I guess.
It's interesting. Like I played a crazy serial killer guy, and that's really the best.
Yeah, I love that episode. Rizzoli and I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jen knows. I just say the same shit.
You mention your IMDb
again.
just a little bit.
Hey, oh my God.
But yeah, no, I love musicals and theater, and it's the best.
So we're talking about college. That was my question.
Oh.
Did you, something like when I did Third Rock with Joey Gordon-Levitt, he left to go to college.
Yeah.
And then I saw him 2 years later, and
He's like, fuck that.
He did Brick and something else.
Oh,
he did
these really cool indies.
Yeah. And I said to him, I said, what happened with the college? And he goes, no one was taking it seriously. Everybody just was partying, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I never went to college.
Okay. You went to the School of Life.
School of Life. That's right.
You got a slice of the School of Life. My dad, I come from a family where I was lucky enough that I came from his dad did not go to college, and he did. And both my mom and dad went to college, and it was very important for them to get a college degree. And it was important for us to get a college degree. So I originally wasn't going to go. I took college classes for fun because I've always been a nerd and love school and learning new things. And I'm just a really curious person. But I never had any intention of getting a degree. And my dad, it meant a lot to him, and it was something that I wanted to accomplish it. So like I said, I was going to get my psychology degree, and then life happened, and then nursing happened. But he was very excited. My nursing graduation, he was very excited because he never got to go to any graduations.
Right.
So my nursing robing ceremony or pinning ceremony is what they call it. I mean, he cried, and we have this great picture of me and my mom and him, and on stage just all bawling.
That's
because,
so sweet.
Yeah.
It's so important. And my oldest daughter, she wanted to renounce her life and go live on an ashram. And I was like, well, you have to have a life before you can renounce it. You know what I mean? So I said, how about 1 year? Go to college, just go
for the
1
experience.
year and just
you
for
learn
the
a lot
experience.
about yourself.
It's just about learning how to do your laundry and learning how to function and deal with people and, have a schedule and all that stuff. I thought it was really important for her to have that experience.
When I think back to what you were saying about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then we'll call it a day. We'll wrap it up as we are assiding all over the place. Is when you work in this business as a kid, you have to grow up really fast and you have to be really efficient and disciplined and things like that. So I didn't really have the traditional college experience. I didn't go away to school. I didn't stay in dorms and stuff like that. But I also too, my dad's like, I wish that you had on a certain sense, but I don't.
To learn that, you mean?
No, I think it's just more because I think he was just concerned that I was missing out on traditional experiences, like a traditional high school experience, a traditional college experience, because he had such positive ones. And for me, though, I was like, I try to imagine myself in like a sorority and like all that kind of stuff. And it's just not my thing. It's not my style. It's not.
Well, but I mean, how did you do well, we're going to wrap it up in a second, everybody. Hold on. How did you do all the nursing stuff, though? I mean, did you go somewhere to do learning?
So I did all my prereqs for psychology at Glendale Community College in Glendale, California. And they have a nursing school there. So I did all my prereqs there. I was going to transfer to UCLA for my psych degree and then switched and started completely over. And then I was dealing with some health stuff at the time too, but I took 2 years off to finish the nursing school where it was like really hands-on. Like you really, it was all consuming. Like it was 2 years where like my friends can tell you, I put my head down and that was all I could do for 2 years. Cause it's learning a whole new world. It's learning a new language. It's learning the entire body. It's so intense. But I just went there. So I lived in the same place I've lived in for a while and drove up to Glendale. So.
That's good. I like Glendale, where we do AGB, Actors Giving Back.
That's true. And I lived the first, I think 2 seasons up like 5 minutes from Glendale Community College. With Eric and Melissa.
Yes, and Eric was the actor in the Christmas.
Eric Lloyd? Yes.
Yeah, the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, and he played my nephew on the Christina Applegate show,
and,
Jesse.
Fun fact, it was kind of like, it was a weird little house. So it was a big house, and then there was a pool house. My mom and I stayed in the pool house, and then Melissa had renovated like 3 other rooms. There was a kid named Jay. Him and his mom would stay there. He was in the Wizards pilot. And then Dylan Mignette, who ended up on Small World, ended up on 13 Reasons Why, which Selena produced.
Yeah.
Went to network for the Wizards pilot while he was staying there, but didn't get it. And was staying there with his mom. And then Demi's sister, Dallas, was staying in one of the rooms too. So at one time, it was just this
you were
weird,
like your own
Melrose Place.
Yeah.
It was this weird like child actor Melrose Place for like a hot second.
That's so funny.
It was an interesting time.
They were so sweet.
Yeah.
I really liked them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
everybody.
out.
What's the episode called again?
It's called Fairytale.
Fairytale episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod, everybody. Goodbye.
Hope you enjoyed all the asides.